best guitar deal on Amazon? Hey gang, welcome to Chevin's Music, your one-stop shop for everything guitar. Today, it's Friday, so I'm going to start a new series here on the channel called Gear Review Friday. So I have here a guitar sent to me. It's an Amazon guitar from a company called Vangoa, V-A-N-G-O-A. So I've been putting it through its paces for the past couple of days. So just to let everybody know, I reached out to them and asked them, I said I'm starting a gear review channel, a gear review series. Would you like to send over a guitar for review? And they were kind enough to send one out, and these are completely my thoughts on the guitar. So this is my unbiased opinion on the guitar. So let me show you how it came. So of course, first things first, it did come in a box, but this is what's inside the box. It comes with a case. Now, before we get to the guitar, which you've kind of already seen, I'm going to open the front pocket and show you some of the other things you get with the guitar. You get this great little pouch, has their branding right there on the front, Vangoa, pretty cool. Let me set this over here. Okay, now, I've already been in the pouch, so I already know what's in here, but I wanted to take everything out and just let you see it. So you get an owner's manual. You need that? Not really. You get another set of strings. So they have their own strings, Vangoa strings. So you actually get another set. So if you break some of your strings, that's great. You get another set. You get some picks. I've already taken one out and tried it, but you get 4 picks with it. Vangoa picks. You get a capo, and this is a pretty good capo. Nice taut spring there, has their branding on it right there. But I like this capo quite a bit. I'll probably be using this in some videos. You get a polishing cloth that I've already used. I've already cleaned it. This is a nice microfiber cloth. This has their branding on it. There it is. It has their branding on it somewhere. There we go, Vangoa right there. And you get a pick guard. This one's black, I think. Maybe it was white on the other side. I'm not sure. I don't really like pick guards, but you get one if you want to put one on the guitar. So, pick guard. And last but not least, you get a tuner. Now, these are kind of the standard little tuners you get with all of those, cheaper Amazon guitars. And they're not very good, and I tested this one out. This one was also not very good, but that's okay. Your phone is actually a better tuner than a lot of these tuners. I always recommend just going and downloading an app to tune your guitar with, because it's so accurate. It's way more accurate than these. Unless you buy a really expensive clip-on tuner, your phone's going to be the best option. But that's what you get. You get all that stuff. I forgot to mention, you also get a strap, which I've already put on the guitar. Let me show you that. Kind of your basic strap, it's made of like a seat belt kind of nylon. It's a really thick kind of nylon, so it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I would use this. This feels more like an electric guitar strap. Typically on an acoustic, I lean towards leather straps. Those are a little bit more grippy. This one's a little slippy, but that's okay. You get a strap with this. And let's have a look at that case. So the case is really not bad. There's some pretty good padding here. You got padding on the sides. You have a really cool thing here, something to keep the neck from moving around a whole lot. You can strap it in there and close the little Velcro there. And it has a thing to protect, the neck from like being dropped and stuff like that. So I like that a lot. Pretty good padding. So, pretty good case. I would say this is about a 30, if you got it on sale, maybe $25. So not a bad case at all. Again, there's their branding. Very cool. Now, the moment of truth. Let's look at the guitar. Now, what you're about to hear are my honest opinions on the guitar. The first thing I want to do is I want to play it for you. Okay, so I'm going to play the guitar. All I've done is tuned it up. These are the same strings that came on it. So I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to do some fingerstyle. I'm going to do some strumming. I'm going to do some different techniques and things, and just kind of put it through its paces here so you can see it and make a good decision on if this is something you might want. So here we go, some fingerstyle. of those picks and do some strumming. Yeah, so they're different, like they're different millimeters. Ooh, that's a really hard one. Yeah, I'm more into kind of a medium pick, and here's their medium version right here, I think. So I'm going to use this pick. There we go. All right, so here's some strumming. All right, so what are my thoughts on the guitar? Well, one of the first things I look for, especially in a guitar that's a little bit cheaper, I'm going to tell you the price at the end, because I don't think you're going to believe it, is does it stay in tune? You know, that's one of the struggles for beginner guitar players is if the guitar doesn't stay in tune and they have to constantly tune a guitar, that's kind of a bummer, because you want to play guitar, you don't want to tune guitar. This one stays in tune pretty well. It has these, they're in the shape of Gotoh tuners up here, but they're actually pretty good. These are Van Gogh tuners, but they're clearly in the shape and the style of Gotoh tuners. And I like that. And they're good tuners. They're not bad at all. You know, the ratio is really good. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's good. I like it a lot. It keeps the guitar in tune. I've only had to tune it a couple times, you know, to first to stretch out the strings, and I played it a little bit and it got out of tune. And then I tuned it right back up. And it's been in pretty good tune ever since. You know, I tuned it right before doing this review. The strings, I'm not a big fan of these strings. I would probably change these immediately to some Elixir 12 to 53s. So the strings are not that great, but you know, they'll do in a pinch. You know, I mean, you can hear these are the original strings that came on it. That's not bad at all, you know. So, but one of the first things I would probably do is change the strings. It's also very dry. This guitar has a very dry neck. I would probably get some, you know, some kind of oil, like lemon oil or something, and maybe oil the fretboard a little bit because it is a little bit dry. Some of the woods, you know, like the top is Sitka spruce. Ooh, I left a mark right there. Look at there. So when you touch it, you can leave some marks. You can use your polishing cloth to get those off. Don't worry about that. So the top is Sitka spruce, and the back and sides are sapele or sapel. I'm not sure how you say it. And it sounds totally fine. Now let me tell you the price. For all of that, you get it for $119 right now. At the time of this recording, you can buy this guitar and all that stuff for $119 on Amazon, which is insane. And one of the reasons I can support this is because when I think back to when I was a beginner, this puts you, for $119, puts you in a better position than I was when I was a beginner. You know, when I was a very beginner, my mom gave me her guitar, and the strings were like this far off the fretboard. The tuners kept breaking, so I'd have to tune the guitar with a pair of pliers, you know, because it had the little spoke poking out there, and you know, we didn't have enough money to get the thing fixed. We really didn't even have the know-how, you know. We didn't, so I had to tune it with a pair of pliers. So for $119, this puts you as a beginner or even an intermediate player in a better position than I was. So, you know, I can really get behind this. Not to mention, it's really pretty. It's got this dreadnought body style with the cutout. I like that a lot. You know, that's a great look with the brown. The brown kind of makes it pop, you know, the brown accents. I like that a lot. Does it sound like a $4,000 Taylor or Martin? No, it doesn't. But for $119, you get something that, for me, mine that I got does not buzz. know, usually there's the bad, you have a problem up on the 5th fret. Nothing here. Everything sounds great. All the way up the fretboard. The setup is nice. You know, I didn't expect that. The string action is very good on this. Nice and low. So, perfect for a beginner. I just can't say enough good things about this guitar, and I recommend it to beginners especially. But if you are an intermediate or advanced player that kind of want a beater guitar to take to the beach, this is it. You know, you can take this to the beach and not worry about it getting, you know, sand in it. You just knock it out. It does not have a pickup in it, so there's no electronics to mess up or anything like that. This is just a straight, good old guitar, the original recipe. You know, spruce top, back and sides, no electronics. But for 119 bucks, I think it's punching well above its weight. All right, so if you're looking to buy this guitar, I have a link in the description below. Go check that out. You take it to, it takes you out to Amazon. That link will take you to Amazon. But if you click our affiliate link, that will definitely help this channel out a little bit. But like I said, these are my thoughts. So what you're getting is my opinion. So is this something that you might consider buying? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you could buy me a coffee. I'd really appreciate that. I love coffee. So the link is in the description for that. So what do you want me to review next? Let me know that in the comments too. I'll see you at the next one, and keep on picking.